Yo, what's good, guys? We are back on MLB The Show 23, going over the very end of my tier list content as I traditionally do, showing you guys what I think is the best lineup in the game. Obviously, personal preference does play a role in this stuff, and there is no definitive answer for the best lineup in the game, but I'm going to do my best job. So, you can see I've not caught up on all the content I've missed since I haven't been playing that much. We still got to get the Maguire and the Clemente and Miggy and Raleigh Fingers. But I am getting there. Obviously, the wild card stuff dropped today. Get on that if you guys are not, if you don't know how the postseason stuff works. But I have caught up on most of the content. I feel confident that I can make pretty much the best team in the game to show you guys what you guys need to be running headed into the end of set 4. You can see we have 20 days left. So, real quick, if you do enjoy the content, feel free to like and subscribe if it is helpful at all. And let's just get into it, right? So, the first team I think you guys should be running is the shortstop team. I'm going to hide the camera so I can show you guys first base. Obviously, this team revolves around Jimmy Rollins and the fact that everybody has to be a shortstop or a secondary shortstop. He's 300K now, so if you got him forever ago, good for you. But I think he does kind of elevate this team to the top of the top. First base, doesn't even use the boost. I like Jimmy Fox. I love Jimmy Fox in MLB The Show. Always have. I think traditionally he is better at catcher, but with who I have at catcher right now, he's playing first base for sure. Other than him, guys that actually make the team, I think Ernie Banks is a good shout. I think Javier Baez is good. I think Mike Schmidt's pretty good. And if you wanted guys that don't make the team, I think Nolan Arenado at first base could be very good. Bellinger could be very good at first base. This Moustakas is pretty slept on. Obviously, a guy like Miguel Cabrera. Adley, if you'd rather run Adley at catcher and put Jimmy Fox at first base, or if you want to run Adley at catcher and put Carlos on first base, I think that's also a good option. Castellanos pretty slept on. Austin Riley's pretty good. I'm not going to get too deep in the trenches to show you guys all of those players. Second base, as you guys know how the captains work at this point in the year, he does not actually stay in at second base for us. As soon as the game starts, he is subbed out. My pick is Matt Carpenter. I think Matt Carpenter is always gross in the show. You can see no quirks, which is unfortunate, but his swing is so good. If you guys use the monthly card from last year, that was a monster card. And this one's even better than that card was. He is absolutely gross, and he's my pick for second base. I think there's some other good options. I think Tatis is a good option if you can actually stand his swing. You can see what he looks like with the maxed out shortstop team captain boost. You can see his wheel right there. It's pretty decent. I'm not going to front and say it's like top tier. He will get 99 speed. If you parallel him all the way, he'll have good fielding. He's okay. His swing just sucks, man. It sucks. If you are somebody that thinks it's a good swing, there's no hope for you. I don't know. No top end players really run him because his swing does suck. But if you can get around it, if you are a psychopath that likes the swing, I think it's all right. Let's not get too deep into the bench. Other second baseman, Simeon makes his team. Simeon's been a rock in all of these teams for the most part. Javier Baez makes it. If you'd rather run J-Ram at second base, I think he would be a decent shout. Shortstop, it's Ellie. It's Ellie or nobody for the most part. But other than Ellie, you have like Tatis is okay. I think Troy Glaus could play it at a decent level. Probably would not stick Seiya there. He would be a horrendous shortstop. A guy like Seager or Crawford isn't bad. It's just they're incredibly slow. They're going to give up those rollers up the middle. Same goes for Ernie Banks. Barry Larkin isn't bad on paper, but I don't really like his swing. And then that is about it. Probably wouldn't run any of these other guys at shortstop. The new Royce Lewis would be serviceable at shortstop if you want to go pick him up and play him there. But I would probably stay away from it. Third base, you got J-Ram. I think J-Ram is the de facto best option at third base. I think he is absolutely gross. And he's not even as good with this team captain boost as one of the others. I think he looks absolutely gross. Obviously, if you could get him in the outfield, maybe you would prefer that with the 94 speed, but it is what it is. and I think he's absolutely gross at third base. Other than him, you've got Mike Schmidt again. I think he's pretty solid. You've got Seager. Seager is eligible for third. Same with Ernie Banks. But I don't want to just keep rehashing the same names over and over again. So, the cool thing about this captain boost is your wildcard slot is free. You're not wildcarding the captain, which means you can wildcard anybody you want. Who better than Chipper Jones, one of the best cards in the show every single year, is a maxed out hitter on this team, gets some speed, which is very nice for him. You could move him to third, and then maybe you could put J-Ram in the outfield. I don't know. This is the configuration of the lineup I like the most. Other than him at DH, you've got some other options. Ernie, if you like him. Jeter, if you like him. Schmidt. Just nobody's going to be better than Chipper Jones, and that's the reality of the situation. Catcher. This is one of our free slots, one of the slots where we're not using a player that's boosted by the team. I like Santana here. His swing is absolutely gross. Absolutely loved his monthly card earlier in the year. I think this card is nasty. Not super overpowered on this team, but on the other team I'm going to show you, he definitely is. Other than him, obviously he's a free slot. You can put any catcher you want here. I think Adley is a great shout. I think him and Jimmy Fox here would be the only other ones I would run. Probably wouldn't run this Delgado. I think his defense is so bad that it's not really worth it. If you want to fit Delgado in, I think first base is a much better option. Left field, we got Marte. With the team captain boost, he becomes kind of fast, and he plays a decent left field. It's not awesome. My pick for left field would be Jackson Chourio, the new ranked card, but he's like 600, 700K right now. And I'm nowhere close to making World Series at the moment since I haven't played him forever. But I think Cattell is one of the better options out there. Other than him, you don't have too many options. You got Duran, who's in all of these videos always as a little budget option. You got Javi Baez, you got Robinson, and that's about it. It's slim pickings. Obviously, the new Royce Lewis, again, I'll mention, does make that. Our other free slot I used on Mike Trout. He is absolutely gross. He is nasty. Probably, if it's not Ellie, then Trout's the best card in the game. He is absolutely nasty. Other than him, obviously, it's another free slot. You can run anybody you want. My picks would be J-Rod or Griffey. I think McCutcheon's not bad, but just not really top tier anymore. Acuna could play a center field for you. I'd probably stay away from it. And then that's about it. That's about everybody I would play in center field. Right field, kind of like the linchpin of this team. The reason you're running this team is for Mookie Betts. It makes him absolutely gross in right field. You'll see he will have like low 90 speed with maxed out defense and gross hitting stats. Really, the reason you're running the shortstop team is to wildcard Chipper Jones and get him back in the lineup, and for Mookie Betts to be one of the best hitters in the game. If you struggle with either of those cards, probably don't run this team because it is very restrictive. You do have to have very specific players in very specific spots. But if you do have all of these players, if you do hit well with these players, this boost is absolutely nasty. So the bench guys, Glaus, Suzuki, Tatis, all very good options. I feel like I've kind of gone over all of them. So I will go over the rotation. It is a little different from our other rotation. I'm going to save the bullpen for the other lineup because they are the same. Randy, we got rid of Randy for like a month. Here he is again, still being the best pitcher in the game. John Donaldson has not expired yet. In 20 days, you'll never have to see him again until set 6. Corey Kluber from the collection is absolutely gross. We have the ego in for the shortstop boost, so we can get another free slot. I don't really want to pitch with him. I think he is serviceable. My plan is to do like a 4-man rotation and just sub him in for somebody that's already full energy every time. That's the plan. We'll see how it goes. And then I really like Al Leiter. I think Al Leiter is super slept on. I think he was by far the best reward out of that one season where it was him, Devers, and Buxton. I think he was the best one. He is absolutely gross. So we will go over the bullpen with our other lineup. So here we are, the durability lineup. You guys know it. You guys probably love it. Maybe you hate it. Still an absolutely gross team. Ripken's up to 100K. He was like 20K forever ago when they re-released him. And this team is so gross. Jimmy Fox becomes a max out hitter at first base with even better defense, so he is gross for that. He looks so good. Harmon, I would stay away from. Buck O'Neill, I'd stay away from. Justin Morneau is still a maxed out hitter on this team build. He is absolutely nasty. This Goldschmidt isn't terrible. Other than him, you've got the Duke, you've got Austin Riley, who is absolutely nasty at first base. Shope's a good budget option, and then you got some guys like Paredes and Edward, who are solid options on the bench. You can see Bellinger could slot in at first base. Adley Rutschman could slot in at first base. Both of those would be good options if you prefer them over Jimmy Fox. So at second base, we have our captain. Obviously, again, he does not play. My pick would be using one of our free slots to bring in Mookie Betts to play second base. I think Mookie is statistically the best second baseman, and I think he is the best second baseman. I don't love his swing as much as I have in years past, but I do think it is still very good. Other than him, you've got guys like Semien. Semien's very solid. Jackie is okay. I think he lacks the power you'd like to see. And then you've got guys like Tatis, Seager, Brandon Crawford. Oh, Brandon Crawford doesn't make this team. Okay. So you've got Seager. You've got Seager, Tatis, and Robinson, and like Semien. All those are very good options at second base. Love them to death. Ellie at shortstop, again, obviously makes this team. I think it makes him a little bit better, if I'm remembering right. But honestly, it doesn't matter with Ellie. He's basically maxed on both of the teams. Other than him, you've got Tatis, you've got Jackie. And then that's about it. If you want to run Jeter, you can run Jeter. I'm just not a big Jeter fan in the game. But that's about it for shortstop. Shortstop is pretty weak on this team. Third base, you've got J-Ram, who is even better on this team boost than the other one. Obviously, you don't need that speed at third base. He becomes a maxed out fielder at third base on this team. He becomes a max contact hitter on this team. He is gross on this team. Other than him, you've got Longoria as a good little budget option. He's literally quick sell value. And then Austin Riley, you can pretty much never go wrong with. Tatis, Seager, the usual suspects. The outfield is where it gets really interesting with this team. The new J-Rod looks absolutely nasty. The problem with him is the power isn't like really all there. You'd like to see slightly higher power than that, but it is fine. He is playable. A lot of people really like his swing. I think he has a decent amount of quirks. He does. He's got good quirks. He is pretty nasty there. If you are somebody that enjoys Corbin Carroll, he's always an option. Tatis in the outfield is always an option. Austin Riley in left field is always an option. Dylan Cruz is still here. He's still a dog. So I don't mind him. Trout makes this team. Does it make Trout better at all? No, not really. But he contributes to the captain boost, and he was already my pick for the best center fielder. So that's a plus. And then Griffey. Griffey is so gross with this boost. He's a maxed out hitter with pretty much maxed out speed and almost maxed out defense. Like, what is there not to like? He really made the Extreme program worth it for me, I think, in my opinion, because, like, look at the stats, man. That's an in-game card. He is a core card, and he makes this team. He is absolutely nasty there. I skipped over catcher for some reason this time. You can see Santana is drastically better with this boost compared to the shortstop boost that he, doesn't even get. So, of course, he's better. But you can just see how much better, right? He becomes very serviceable contact-wise against righties, and he becomes maxed out against lefties. He's gross. He's absolutely nasty. He gets slightly better fielding because of the boost. So I really like him there. And we actually have a slot available. So if you'd rather run somebody like Adley at catcher or somebody that doesn't even make the team, you have a slot available. You are more than welcome to do that. DH, I think it's Juan Soto, right? I mean, this card's absolutely nasty. He's basically a max out hitter with great quirks. Other than him, like we said, we have a slot available. If you wanted to do Delgado, if you wanted to do Ernie Banks, if you wanted to do any of those guys, I think they're very good options. Also, you've got guys like Ketel Marte, if you just want like a contact guy that you're comfortable with. Jock Peterson's pretty good. There's good options if you don't want to fit the team boost at DH. I would probably just use it on a different position, though. So Other guys, other honorable mentions, I think Acuna is still very good for a lot of people. If you either don't have J Rod, or you don't like J Rod, or you didn't do Griffey out of the extreme moments, I think he is absolutely a top tier option still in the outfield for his remaining time. I started slumping a little bit at the end with him, but you can see he still was absolutely nasty when I did use him. Bellinger, absolutely gross card still. I still think he's one of my favorite cards of the year. So I really like those two as other outfield options if you haven't grinded these top tier options. And then the rotation, right, is the exact same, except we don't have to juggle Martin Diego. You get another slot. I'm going to try out this Wayno. A lot of people have been hyping him up. I don't really see it. I used this card earlier in the year that looked like it would be really good. He got absolutely slammed for me. So I think other than Wayno, Matt Cain is still okay. I'd probably stay away from him. Clayton Kershaw would be my top end pick. I'd much rather probably use him than Wainwright. We'll see how Wainwright performs, but I think Kershaw's right there. I think he's really good. I think the Wheeler card is super slept on. Roy Halladay is still very good if you're playing on those super high difficulties. Jacob DeGrom is absolutely he's I wanted to say gross, but he's either shut down or your opponent puts up 6 runs on him. There's really no in between. So if you do own this card for some reason, like I do, he's okay. This Mad Bum, if you like the Mad Bum earlier in the year, is a decent shout. I think he's solid. He could be a 5th starter in somebody's rotation. He's quick sell value, very similar to the other Mad Bum we had earlier in the year. Patrick Corbin, I don't really value him as a starter. His shtick is kind of that like slow curveball. As a starter, he's gonna have to throw it too much. I think he'll get slammed. Paul Skeens is very good. I'd stay away from Michael King. Every Michael King card I've ever used has gotten lit up. I think Shohei's still a decent option. I think there's a lot of decent guys you can put at that 5 spot, but my pick would be between Wainwright and Kershaw personally. The new Cueto obviously is worth a shout. Additionally, Miggy at first base. If you don't like Jimmy Fox's swing, maybe you'll like Miguel Cabrera. They're basically the same card. They're basically maxed out hitters, as well as McGuire. But McGuire's swing just sucks so bad that I'm not going to advise anybody to go out of their way to go get that card. Because it is a lot of grinding or it's a lot of stubs. I don't really think it's worth it. We got Franco. We got Camillo. If you're not on a super high difficulty like Legend, which is pretty much the only like super high difficulty, I would not use Camillo. I think on All-Star, I think on Hall of Fame, he is just BP. He's just super mid. I think this Percival is a decent shout. He kind of has a weird delivery, but his pitch mix is kind of bleh. Mo looks pretty good to me. Basically the exact same as that boss card we got, just slightly worse through 9s. Those like 1 mile an hour slower. If you do traditionally like Mo cards, I think that card's still very good. I think Melanson's pretty slept on to have a splitter and kind of a weird delivery, but I probably would still stay away from him. I think this Ottavino could be gross. The control is a red flag for me. I think on higher difficulties, he's going to suck because of that. And the fact that, top end players just don't struggle against that weird arm slot nearly as much as like your all-star players. Other than that, you've got some like lower, more budget options like Gregory Santos has a weird delivery, has outlier sinker, can never be understated. Javier Assad has a good pitch mix, cannot, say bad things about him. Alvarado's a good lefty specialist. I think Joe Nathan and Yohan Duran are pretty slept on. This Felix, if you're on a lower difficulty, can be pretty gross. Gotta struggle on those higher ones because of his control. Garrett Crochet is a pretty good lefty specialist. Lou Trevino's worth a shout. Kendall Graveman's worth a shout. And then that's about it for the bullpen. Other than that, we got Diekman. I like him as a lefty specialist. This is the best Diekman card we've ever gotten. I'll have to see how the control is on those super high difficulties, but on low difficulties, he should shred. Never a huge Gagne fan, but I feel like the bullpen's pretty weak at the moment, so he probably makes it. He's on the short leash. If he gets lit up in this first appearance, he'll be out the bullpen for me. Wagner, just another lefty specialist. I would advise you guys, if you have that Zach Britton, to throw him in there, but do not go your way. I don't think a lefty specialist reliever is worth $800K. especially when we'll probably get a new Chapman or a new Aaron Loop very soon, I would hope. Rob Nin, I think one of the most slept on relievers all year, has a weird delivery, throws a hard fastball with a splitter, which is a combination that can't really be beat. James MacArthur, very slept on card here, has a great pitch mix, maxed out hits, and good control. Can't ask for too much more. And then you've got Kenley. This is basically like a copy and paste of um, that milestone one that we got earlier in the year, except he has slightly better control. I think a lot of people have probably seen him too much, but if you do play somebody, Kenley can be shut down against certain players, I would say. And that would be it for the best lineups in the game. I think durability and shortstop team are like 1A, 1B. It really depends on like how well you hit with guys like Mookie, or if you have guys like Jackson Chourio, stuff like that. So yeah, guys, that is going to be it for the video going over the best teams in the game. You can't really go wrong with any of these options or any of the honorable mentions, and I probably still missed some cards. I tried to be very thorough in this video, go over as many as possible, but the reality is I probably still missed some. So if you have anybody that makes a team that is absolutely gross that I need to know about, just leave it in the comments below. Till next time, peace.